Well, this should be a pretty controversial video. You know, I actually do agree with Telly sometimes, rare occasions. You know, it's like that thing where every squirrel gets a nut once in a while. Every car is going to have a flat tire from time to time. But the things that I do disagree with still, I mean, despite being disgusting, like let's just say Mormonism, polygamy, and the Warren Jeff stuff with it, just that's all gross, sick. Thing is, the state, when you homeschool your children, okay, and this is kind of the controversy going on here, when you homeschool your children, you're gonna get the state picking a fight with you, using your fundamentalist beliefs, even though yeah, polygamy and all that stuff with the Warren Jeff stuff, yeah, absolutely make it illegal. But I think even Utah made polygamy legal again. Here's the thing, despite what you might dislike or what is absolutely wrong about a religion or a fundamentalist belief, there's not much you can do about it. But to almost use the extremist view from the state standpoint to raid a house and start killing people because you want to homeschool your children. Okay, you're either going to get tanks rolled up on you, and I'm going to show you the evidence of that in a case and what I'm talking about, or you're going to get these mandated reporters that are going to come out and try to weaponize CPS on you because you might have an extremist view. Well, despite having an extremist view, you shouldn't have to bow to the state when you want to homeschool your children, and when you deny, like, CPS or something access to your home without a warrant, well, then all of a sudden you get tanks rolled up on you. Let's just go with the clip here.
But doesn't it fucking bother you that your friend is making those threats against this person, even though you don't like her and she's a proven asshole? You don't have a problem with that at all?
For me, it depends on the situation. Like, if you claim to be a home health advisor, or what is it, she homeschools.
Okay, this stupid retarded motherfucker just literally said that I home health advise my child, talking about homeschool. No, you fucking retard. It is called homeschooling, not home health advisor, whatever the fuck that means.
What is the target? Is it the children that are being homeschooled, or the mom ballsy enough to not let her kids get brainwashed by an educational system that puts your kids on their rail and train? Again, to put the old ice pick up the nose, scramble eggs up there, the old lobotomy, right? And you stand up against that, you're gonna have some mandated reporters coming out of the woodwork, and I'm gonna show you the evidence on a case here in just a second. Let's listen to what Nunya's saying here.
That has nothing to do with the homeschooling, okay? And let me tell you guys this, what they've been doing, you think I don't have documentation of what they've done? If anything was like that was gonna happen, CPS showed up, if I wanted to and felt like it that day and I was in a good mood, I might show them all of the proof, you know what I mean? But this is the thing. This is the funniest part of it. You guys, you ready? Do y'all know what I'm about to say? Y'all know? I'm gonna wait for y'all to chat. Okay, hold on.
Her child, and there's no curriculum, I do feel as though that's an abuse to the child.
Who the F is the garbage man to determine, like the state, or maybe like a mandated reporter, to have to say what the curriculum should be? Now, I get there should be a curriculum, not just saying, yeah, we're homeschooling our kids, but you're just sitting there abusing them or letting them watch TV all day. That's robbing them of actually, I mean, my belief. I mean, even if the information is some of it's false, you're still teaching. The kids are getting taught how to take a test and complete things. Now, to take it a step further real quick, some of the elitist schools, and I used to work for one in Oregon, their curriculum would be based on learning about, your subject, and then actually your test is building like a clay model or something with your hands that's a conceptual of what you learned about. And that's what they're doing in the tracking, like the train rail tracking curriculum in public schools. They're not allowing the kids to do that. You take a test and you conform. But still completing things I think is important for children, absolutely, to learn how to complete tasks and be able to speak the English language and do math is only going to be helpful for your child to be able to, balance a checkbook, even though, fuck money in the banks, right? But, okay, still, the state shouldn't be allowed to come in and go, nope, your curriculum's not right. But they do. We'll show you in the case here in a second.
So he don't agree with the law, right? He don't agree with the law. He don't think that, and if you look it up, it's not hard to do. Google, it's free. Look it up, Google it. In Arkansas, what kind of curriculum do you have to homeschool legally your child? Look it up. Everybody Google it real quick.
But it seems as though the garbage man is going to sit there and throw out accusations like a snitch would do, a social worker would do, or maybe a mandated reporter would do to help gaslight law enforcement. Like Duckbot even, lying that I'm a murder suspect. Oh, they're hot on my trail. Somebody disappeared from my house. I mean, get the fuck out of here, really? But that's to gaslight law enforcement, or they're snitches that'll get paid to tell the feds anything. So the feds can build your profile and roll tanks up on you when they don't like it because you won't let them have access to your house without a warrant, and because some snitch down the street is feeding, a bunch of baloney, but, well, to the feds and the state. But the thing is still the fundamentalism and the idea of being an extremist by whatever your belief is, but pulling your children out of school is the basic, where you got to stick with this thesis. Stick with this thesis by not so much your belief in the background, what your belief might be, as long as you're not abusing children. That's constitutional freedom of religion, as long as you're not abusing children. But the theory here, the thesis, is you're gonna get some retaliation because you're homeschooling your children, not them being. They either want your children in their elitist system schools so they can become geniuses and help rule the world, or you're in the peasant schools on train rails getting brainwashed. And that's just my opinion. I oh well, don't cry over it now. Don't report me for an opinion.
If I really had to break it down, I do feel as though the woman is a terrible parent. Now,
so I'm a terrible parent.
Well, but he's not gonna really break it down, though. These are blanket statements. The garbage man sounds like a flippin' snitch.
You guys can tell that I'm a terrible parent by me being on here. You guys can? Oh, hold on. I have somebody in the basement. Oh, no.
All right. Well, let's go back over to our clip now. And, yeah, some people are just the bait for some of these preds out there. And I'm telling you, snitches definitely have predatory behavior and can cause bloodshed. I'll show you right now. So this case, I believe, is from 1990. Just to let you know, part of my credential packet is actually one of the daughters, when I was 17, almost killed herself drinking and driving. And I'm the one that rolled up on her at 2 o'clock in the morning of her coming back from the bar. And the singer daughter, I'm not going to say the name, but the singer daughter, I was going the other way, she's going, we're going opposite ways, and she almost went off, like, no joking, like 1,000-foot drop cliff. No joking. And but anyways, it really tore this family up. Even though I disagree with their beliefs, I still agree with the ability of homeschooling your children and having the state stay out of it. But them using the children and the homeschooling is an excuse to mess with the family because of their beliefs and their polygamy-ism. I mean, again, I disagree with it, and Mormonism and stuff like that. It's all gnarly. But yeah, because they made polygamy, I think, illegal in Utah, and then all of a sudden I think now it's legal again. But you're gonna have fundamentalists, as long as they're not abusing children and impregnating their own children and shit like that, right? Real young. Some of it's happening. Trafficking's happening with that cult. But again, if you take away the fundamentalist belief and look at it, the state is trying to label anyone that homeschools their children as extremists by using cases like this to tell the masses, see what'll happen if you do it? Here you go.
Family triggered an avalanche of violence and bloodshed nearly 3 decades ago. A sad saga that left John Singer and a Utah police officer dead. A story that could also serve as a cautionary tale for authorities today as they continue their pursuit of fugitive polygamous prophet Warren Steed Jeffs.
We would not make the first move, but I would not let anybody come into my home and take my children away from me without putting up some type of a fight.
And for John Singer, the
coming in, and there's some things that were left out in this, I'm going to pause a few times, but without a warrant and CPS coming to your home, you have the right to not let them in your home. I mean, meeting halfway would be like having one of your children come to the door and the CPS worker go, "Are you okay?" And the kid go, "Yeah, we love our mom and dad, we're fed well and we're fine." Now, even I'm giving them that much, okay, but if you want to avoid tanks being rolled up on you and some other things happening here that this report leaves out, I'll add them in. It's because, just had not even a personal connection or anything with the event or anything. It was just, I didn't even know who these people were until when I was 17 and found one of the daughters 2 o'clock in the morning, crashed out, almost went off a 1,000-foot cliff. I roll up and she just literally, it happened. There was steam rolling out of her freaking front of her car, like she just got hit front, on the front, and demolition derby all hard. And I'll tell you this, she was so drunk that she had a half-kissed or three-quarter kissed 18-pack riding shotgun. And I parked my car, get out of my car about 80 yards away in case the car blew. As I get out and I'm running up on her, she's trying to start her car, sparks are flying out of it, and I go, "Lady, gotta stop doing that. You're gonna blow us up. Stop doing that." She's so drunk, she's all like, I think it's just my battery. You give me a jump, I think it's just my battery. I go, "Stop. Your car's totaled." Stop. She tries to stop. You're going to blow us up. So I just had to, you know, and it was scary, dude. Face full of blood from hitting the steering wheel. I'm 17 years old. But you know what? Just to let you know, part of my credentials pack, that's happened a few times to me, and that's why I was like, especially at a young age, finding hurt people out in the woods, wiped out on their quads, for instance. Right? Or drunk people that think they can do a Dukes of Hazzard freaking jump in a lake, you know, in the bottom of a lake, and they can't, and this Bronco just quite couldn't do the Dukes of Hazzard jump and tacoed itself. And from a young age, I've found people hurt, and that's why I wanted to become a first responder. Just saying, right? So yeah, again, I'm not really saying there's any connection there. It's just from finding that daughter, then it was like, what the heck happened? Who is this person? And that was probably just a few years after this happened right here.
Problems started when he and his first wife, Vicky, pulled all of their children out of public schools in the late 1970s, just as Warren Jeffs did with hundreds of his followers' children about 6 years ago.
See how they have to connect the case to extremists, okay? I think there's a level of extremism that helped found our country. This type of extremism, racial divide, I can see with immigrants, you know, that are parents back in the 90s wanting to pull their children out of racial integration tactics used through the school books. And when you're an extremist and a racist and a polygamist, you're gonna flip out, of course. But that's still, I mean, should there be racial divide? That's just another debate, all right? I don't even have an opinion on that, because it's just, I mean, we all bleed red, okay? That's my opinion. How about that? And, but yeah, again, using the state, because you pulled your children out of school to do some really gnarly shit. We're talking Ruby Ridge and Waco type shit here. This is just as bad as a case.
Reason for the singers? Because the textbook showed pictures of black and white people together.
John and I believe that there should be segregation in the races. They're integrating the books. He just objected to the textbook.
At first, the state of Utah agreed to let the singers do something almost unheard of at the time, homeschool their children. But when John then refused to even let state officials monitor the education, a series of angry court battles erupted, leading to an arrest warrant being issued for John Singer.
I looked out the window and I saw 3 men on top of John, and I just ran out the door.
Indeed, on one occasion, heavy-handed cops posing as reporters tried to tackle Singer and take him in, but the raw-boned farmer fought back and got away. And suddenly, John Singer was a folk hero.
I told him I ain't got no interest in shooting him, but I told him if you ever try it again, I blow your stupid heads off.
But a short time later, it was John Singer who was shot and killed by police. They say he pulled a gun on them as they tried to arrest him out by his mailbox one morning. A shooting that silenced Singer, but only made the cries of his family and his supporters louder. This woman is John Singer's sister.
Are you happy?
I didn't do that.
No, but you were part of it.
No.
Oh, you better believe it. Your blood on your hands too.
I'm sorry.
And
there you go. There's your snitch and mandated reporter that helped get a man killed just because these extremists wanted to homeschool their children. Their extremist views, in my opinion, I don't think any of the children were being abused in this case. The daughters maybe being married off, hopefully at 18. We don't know. Okay. I think that's why the daughter that I found drunk and wiped out rebelled, because maybe she was going to be married off at a young age. I'm not defending any of that. My defense position again is when you got snitches and mandated reporters all up in the mix trying to get people raided or have CPS come to the house, and then there's an altercation, court cases, snitches involved, scumbag sellouts, just leave them be. If you suspect them abusing children, yeah, that's one thing. But if you don't like the curriculum or their beliefs, that's another thing. So yeah, the abuse of the children, I don't know, but the blowback, so the state kills John Singer, okay, and the blowback for that, okay, it would have been better to not kill John Singer, let them do what they're doing in homeschool, and keep on investigating to make sure those children aren't being abused. Seems as though if you're going to have some really extremist views on, you know, the racial merge or the mud flood, which some people might call, of, you know, two different races of children being portrayed playing in school books, okay, that's, I mean, again, this is some pretty serious stuff. As long as the law isn't being broken, again, and there's no abuse of the children, which again I can't prove, but I just don't think so in this case. All right, I don't think that Adam Swapp, John Singer's son, was married. Well, John Singer was the son. Well, the guy that they found that was to marry one or two of his daughters. John Singer's daughters was supposed to marry Adam Swapp. That, well, you'll see, did something pretty gnarly in retaliation. So extremist moves are going to get extremist moves from extremists. So it's like, where's the line once people start getting killed? Like, again, Ruby Ridge and Waco. But what they're not going to tell you in these stories was the gnarly tactic used to be able to kill John Singer. Same with the Ruby Ridge standoff and Waco. During the standoff, those tactics used to get the family to come out. It's pretty sick and twisted what the feds do. Same thing with the murder of Lavoy Finicum and his family. Again, I'm not standing up for Mormonism. I think it's quite wrong. You're going to get some extremists that are going to adhere to that, just like there's extremist Catholics, there's extremist Jews, there's extremist Freemasons. Muslims, are there peaceful Muslims? I hope so, right? I hope they're not all playing dumb, that are just peaceful, right? And all of a sudden they're all doing the Aloha snack bar after they've been playing possum with urban disciples, see? So, anyways, here you go, rest of the story.
This face-off between religious fundamentalism and secular law didn't end there. A couple of years later, John Singer's son-in-law, a young man named Adam Swapp, who had married two of John Singer's daughters, then tried to avenge John's death by blowing up a nearby Mormon church, an act that Adam Swapp reportedly believed would lead to John Singer's second coming.
The chapel in the building and the cultural hall is totally destroyed.
Adam Swapp and the rest of the heavily armed Singer family then held police at bay for nearly 2 weeks until they shot and killed a police officer by the name of Fred House. Armored vehicles then rolled into the Singers' compound.
They rolled tanks in after a 2-week standoff, and they're playing music on loop, like with the Negan character on Walking Dead. They sat there with floodlights and loud music playing on loop, the same song for like 2 weeks, to try to get them to come out. They just kept standing their ground and standing their ground. All of a sudden, here come the tanks and the CERT team.
To end the standoff, a bloody little footnote in America's polygamist history, but also a powerful reminder to just how fast violence can erupt when secular law collides with fundamentalist beliefs in places like northern Utah, in places like Colorado City, and in places like West Texas.
Waco. Oh, here, I thought we were done.
Is not with them. If they're gonna kill me, it's with my God.
So see, with
people always
with having serious beliefs in God and oh my gosh. Yeah, how extreme is too extreme? Well, it's, I believe, once there's proof of abuse of children and malnutrition and so forth. I mean, they even videoed inside of their home doing calisthenics with the kids. Caring parents are gonna do that. Non-caring parents are just gonna lie to the state and say, oh yeah, we're homeschooling our kids, and they're not, and they're just letting them watch TV and get fat. Oh my gosh, I made fun of a fat kid or fat kids out there glazing Dean with your superior moral outrage, selective outrage, right? Needing to be mandated reporters that, I mean, you don't know where something like that might end up in bloodshed. So y'all might want to just take it down a notch for those snitches and mandated reporters out there. Turn in your dirty boss, quit your job. Okay, just do your time. If you took a plea deal like Predward to become a snitch, okay, just do your time instead of, so you can get out of jail from possessing meth all of a sudden down from CP raid, CSAM raid in your house, right? You're only doing 21 days in jail for meth possession from a CSAM raid, right? Which should have been like 10 years minimum for Predward. Getting out of it, all of a sudden his wife's saying, Predward's wife saying, is there's something weird going on with the Attorney General and Predward, right? So, I mean, yeah. Extremism is just gonna, from the state, is just gonna breed more extremism into serious hate where churches gonna get bombed and people are gonna get shot. I don't like seeing body chalk outlines on the street unless it's a dead pred. Thanks for some people out there that have made those body chalk outlines possible. Thanks for your service to your country. Thanks for the service to your country. Right? Thanks for saving the taxpayer dollars a lot of money. Anyway. Yeah. What do you do? But try not to snitch on each other and be, shitbags for the state. How about that? I mean, there's one thing of being concerned, but all of a sudden using CPS as your attack dog because somebody called you the garbage man on the internet and made fun of you. And all of a sudden you're worried about the curriculum of a woman homeschooling her children without solid evidence. Blah, 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 double twist, double speak. Consider this. They're Mr. Warblob with all your ilk that look like preds and socks. Consider this. You guys might be the problem. Guys like you. See, the thing is, people that have come at me in the past, this little crew now, you guys aren't supposed to know the past pieces of shit. Bench warmers that have tried to accuse me of some serious shit. Still haven't been visited. Still haven't been asked any questions. Still no subpoenas. So the selective moral outrage just looks like you guys are snitches, and guess what? I smell a shit ton of Soros money up into this hog heap. Peace out.